Hello. Welcome to the 13th part of the Solo Max Level Newbie. A special thanks to my Patreon for supporting me. And if you want to support, you can join my channel membership or Patreon for as low as $1. Thank you very much. Let's begin. At the beginning of this part, we see that Jin-hyuk and Dark Emperor's disciple are fighting. Jin-hyuk activates Glacier Formation. Disciple's feet get stuck in the ice. He activates Self-Defense Chi and says, "This kind of petty trick won't affect me." Jin-hyuk activates the Sword Demon King's steps appears in front of him really quick. Jin-hyuk says, "I got your attention though." Jin-hyuk activates Dark Heavenly Demon Emperor Arts. Jin-hyuk hits him with a really powerful attack. He thinks a martial arts technique exclusive to the sect that the Dark Emperor is in. Dark Heavenly Demon Emperor Arts? Disciple is fine and he is really surprised. Dark Heavenly Emperor has stopped Jin-hyuk's attack and says, "Enough." Jin-hyuk smiles. Dark Emperor says, "That's enough." Alice says, "Contractor." T-Bone says, "Master, should I kill him?" Jin-hyuk says, "It's okay, don't attack." Jin-hyuk sees him and thinks he's finally here. Back in the days of the VR game, when the Tower of Trials fell and no one remained. He's one of the few people I could talk to without worrying about anything. Jin-hyuk smiles and activates Eye of Gluttony. Jin-hyuk thinks, "Nice to meet you again. Dragon of Heveli Authority." Disciple says, "I'm ashamed. I have failed, and now you must step in." Dark Emperor says, "It's fine. Get up. I'm partly to blame for not judging the opponent properly." Disciple says, "I apologize." Dark Emperor sees them and thinks that man. It's surprising that he was able to easily defeat the White Serpent. But he also has an extremely powerful monster in his possession on top of that. It's a relief her power are limited for some unknown reason. If she is to regain all of her powers, even I would have a hard time against her. He says, "The amount of chi you have is impressive. You were able to defeat the White Serpent even while giving her mana." Jin-hyuk says, "So can we say that I won? You know how the Jangu works. It doesn't look good for an elder like you to chime in on a fight between youngsters." Dark Emperor says, "What?" Serpent says, Do you know who you were talking to?" Dark Emperor starts to laugh and says, "You're quite the shrewd child. I was wondering why Wu Liang cared about you so much. But I get why now." Jin-hyuk says, "How have you been, Wu Liang?" Jin-hyuk thinks, he's really mad at me. "I know that you've been going around calling yourself my disciple. At first, I thought of teaching you a lesson. But I changed my mind after seeing you Dark Heavenly Demon Emperor Arts. What do you think? About becoming my disciple genuinely instead of pretending?" Serpent thinks, damn it, he's trying to take an outsider in as his disciple. This wouldn't have happened had I defeated that man. Jin-hyuk says, "All right." Dark Emperor says, "I didn't expect you to accept so easily." Jin-hyuk says, "But I have 3 conditions." Dark Emperor says, "Conditions?" Jin-hyuk says, "We're going to be master and disciple. I can have my conditions, can I?" Wu Liang and Serpent are really surprised. Serpent thinks, that idiot. He's crossed the line. Dark Emperor smiles and says, "Interesting. You think the work is beneath you because I praised you a bit, huh? Do you need me to put you in your place?" Alice says, "Contractor, are you sure you're all right?" Jin-hyuk says, "Alice, stay far back from here with T-Bone. First, I'm not entering the Heavenly Demon Divine cult. This will be a temporary contractual relationship. Second, let me borrow the White Serpent and Wu Liang for 3 days as my subordinates." Serpent says, "What? You crazy bastard." Jin-hyuk says, "And lastly, give me Wu Liang." Dark Emperor says, "How arrogant." "Very well. Is that all?" Everyone else falls back and says, "You won't survive if you get caught up in that." Dark Emperor says, "Any last words?" Jin-hyuk says, "If you'll accept my conditions." Jin-hyuk also activates Dark Heavenly Demon Emperor Arts and says, "I'll become your disciple and complete the 13 demonic techniques that you have yet to complete." Dark Emperor is really surprised and thinks, how does he know about the 13 demonic techniques that I have been wishing to complete for so long? Jin-hyuk looks really cool. After that, they both start to laugh and Alice says to T-Bone, "Get used to this." The Dark Emperor says, "How strange. I've never seen you before, but I feel like we've known each other for a very long time." Dark Emperor says, "All of you listen up. Think of him as me and obey him for 3 days." They says, "Yes, sir." Dark Emperor says, "Disciple, let me know when you're done with whatever you're doing. I would like for us to officially become master and disciple then." I was wondering if it's possible to complete the 13 demonic techniques before I die. But I believe you could help me since you've learned my dark heavenly demon emperor arts on your own. Where have you been all this time? You cute little thing. Woolying thinks, Kong Jinhyuk. I hated him for pretending to be the Grandmaster's disciple. But he really became the Grandmaster's disciple. Jinhyuk says, give me Woolyang. He thinks, you're a despicable person. I am overjoyed to serve you again, my liege. Serpent says, how frustrating. Not only was I embarrassed in the Supreme's presence, now I have to treat him as my leader. Woolyang says, don't be mad, White Serpent. He's actually very good to his people. Alice says, so this is why you told me not to kill any of them. Jinhyuk says, yep. It'd be good to have even one more ally for the Giant's Fortress raid. She says, just what kind of place is it that you're preparing so much in advance for? Jinhyuk says, as you can see, it's a very large and annoying place. They are standing in front for the Giant's Fortress. There are explosions happening in the Giant's Fortress Western Gate. Empire's Commander-in-Chief Coin Jovio says, that's unbelievable. Most spells won't even put a scratch on that barrier. We have no choice. Begin. The soldier activates barrier resistance. First group, charge. Glory to His Majesty, Reinhardt. Activating Tree of Life, Yggdrasil's barrier. Activating 12-star Sense Distortion barrier. Soldiers says, run. Get there before the barrier breaks. Even just one of us need to make it to the gates. System says, barrier resistance has been destroyed. All senses are being distorted. Commander says, even with the Empire's best mage's barrier spell, they can't hold on any longer than 3 seconds. How are we going to bring down the fortress? A giant appears in front of them and says, little humans of the Empire. To see you all struggle against one mere barrier is quite amusing. He says, the giants grew up constantly exposed to the concentrated mana of the Tree of Life, Yggdrasil, which granted them resistance to curses while enhancing their size and strength. They think they are special. They call themselves the Tree of Life's chosen ones, which is why they believe that they are the only ones who can dominate the Tower of Trials. Miram Force member Beck says, it is now time to put all of your training to use against those giants. Successor of the soul-chasing sword. Chun Yusung thinks, I've come here a few times when chasing that bastard, but to think I'd actually be attacking this place so soon. Someone gets there and says, why are you here? So you've chosen to side with Miram. Chun Yuung thinks, he looks familiar. The guild master of Zhonghua Guild? I heard he was missing. He was here all along? Beck says, I guess we can skip the introduction since you seem to know each other. Let's work together to bring down the giant's fortress. And Chun Yu-sung, I expect great things from you. Chun thinks, what's up with her? Jin Hyuk gets there and says, Chun Yu-sung, so you've gone over to the Miram side. Alice says, yeah, I would too if you kept bullying me like that. It's not that weird that he switched sides. Jin Hyuk says, bully? Me. I'm so sad. Sorry. Don't swing me around, please. Serpent says, Woolyang, didn't you say that he's good to his people? Jin Hyuk is swinging her like before. Jin Hyuk says, Woolyang. She says, yes, my liege. There's something you have to do. Chun Yusung thinks, I saw it. I saw a chance, albeit slight, of catching up to that bastard. Within the soul-chasing sword, Chun says, come out of hiding. This is your only warning. There's no need to be wary. I'm just acting as a messenger. Chun says, you're the dude swordsman who looked like a girl from back then. Woolyang thinks he already knows about the liege's fake identity. That as he said, this man is a friend. Chun says, what's the message? Woolyang says, Chun Yu-sung, I heard that you went to the Miram side. I get the reason, but it's a real shame as the CEO of a veteran company. Since you're already there, get me some top-secret information on Miram. Then I'll end it at just a simple punishment, nothing more. Or I'm going to tell Teresa about your switch up to the Miram side. The very guys who were the cause of the Europe outbreak. Chun Yu-sung says, is that all? He says, and no, I think it's best I don't reel this. Chun Yu-sung says, read all that's written on there. And I'll strip you to your birthday suit and hang you upside down in the middle of Seoul. Well, I'll be nice and allow you just one piece of undergarment. You're forever Hyung Nim, Kong Jin Hyuk. Chun Yu-sung is really frustrated and thinks, this son of a b. Now I have one more reason to kill him. Woolyang thinks, my liege. Please do not do this to me in the future. Jin Hyuk says, my ears are so itchy. Seems like Woolyang delivered the message. Now that that's done, let's get to the real work. T-Bone says, yes, master. Jinhyu created a really big magic circle. And says, start Giant's Fortress Raid. System says, activating 7-star technique reversal barrier. Activating 8-star interference sec breakdown barrier. Activating 9-star adaptable response barrier. Giant's Fortress Raid information. West, Empire. East, Murim. South, Kong Jinhyuk. The 13th part of the solo max level newbie ends here. If you want to see more, please subscribe and like. And if you want to support me financially, you can join my channel membership or Patreon only for $1. Patreon and Discord links are in the description if you want to support me. And a special thanks to all my Patreons for supporting me. Thanks for watching.